one of the key things that you're really well known for is saying that ideas are worthless. And for somebody that's invested in, hundreds of companies, that's quite an interesting statement. Talk to us about what you mean by that.
Yeah, well, I guess an idea is kind of worth nothing. It's just a thought, it comes, it goes, and it's not until you actually do something with that idea that it actually starts to create value. I think a lot of people sort of get stuck as to not wanting to share their idea because they think someone's going to steal it. Well, the reality is, unless that idea gets oxygen, unless it creates a movement, then it's got no chance, and so it's just a waste.
Mate, there's probably a lot of people in the audience tonight that have an idea to one day start a business, and they'll no doubt probably be coming in and talking to somebody like you. What is it that you look for in investee companies?
Founding team DNA is something we talk a lot about at Venture Capital and also in the York Butter Factory. It's sort of, how is it that the founder and the founding team come together? Can they actually convince somebody to join them on their crazy escapade to change the world? What is it that they do, and how do they complement one another? And again, I guess it's the idea is where it starts, but it's when you actually execute on the idea and adapt that to the customer, that's when it becomes actually real. So, founding team DNA is really, really important, and founder product market fit. So what's the relevance of the founder to the industry they're trying to disrupt?
What's the most common amateur mistake that you see?
If I could get 1% of X economy, then I'll be a billionaire, kind of thing.
We create shoes. Everybody in the world has feet. If we just get 1% of them, we'll all be billionaires. When someone starts out an entrepreneurial journey, sometimes, it can be with a little bit of naivety, and often that can assist in the early years. But we inevitably run into challenging periods that can last years sometimes. What advice do you give to people in terms of persevering through challenge and through those hard times?
Yeah, look, it's the entrepreneurial journey is a hard one. It's lonely. It's isolating, and so I think the key is, how do you actually surround yourself with people who understand what it is that you're going through? And that's really why we created the York Butter Factory, is to create a density of people who are like you, people who are actually inspired to make a difference and are going through those same ups and downs. So, that sharing those challenges, and I guess also shying away perhaps from that dirty little sort of cultural cringe of the tall poppy syndrome.
What's been your biggest challenge?
To be honest, I guess I was probably one of those entrepreneurs, and coming back from Stanford, I had a big vision to say, hey, I'm going to fix venture capital in Australia, and boy, oh boy, did I not know how much I would have to actually do to even start that journey. So I guess it's been having such a big vision, and then having to fight every step of the way. And I think every day you wake up and go, hey, I think today might be that day that it gets easier. But the reality is, as an entrepreneur, you're probably restless as to how far you can actually go. So when does it actually stop?
I mean, for somebody that's invested so much in tech-based industry, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of analysis that sort of forms around those kinds of deals. You're also quite well known for talking about intuition and gut. How do you reconcile the two?
Yeah, look, I think I've always, so starting off as sort of like, an aerospace engineer, I've been always heavy on data, and so I've, trusted in the data. But over time, I think I've got better because I actually, integrate the intuition side of things. What is it that my gut is telling me about the everything that's happening around this? It's really difficult today to actually understand all of the data, and you can't comprehend all of the data. But you certainly can get, those moments of intuition, or moments of sixth sense that says there's something more here, and maybe that's a positive thing, or maybe that's a negative thing, and ignoring it generally is to your peril.
Mm-hmm. As I said in the introduction, you're somebody that's played quite a driving role in particularly early stage venture capital in Australia. What is your current outlook or sentiment around Australian entrepreneurship and the investment that's available?
I think we're right on the cusp. I think that over the last 7 years, we've, experienced a wave building behind us. But if Australia is going to be competitive globally, then the only way we're going to do that is by essentially creating new economy businesses with new technology and new business models. We can't rely upon the mature industries to just keep on incrementally growing because we're in a low growth market.